Welcome back, everyone. You're welcome if you are new. Today we're in the dirt street stocks here at Knoxville. We were second fastest in practice. I'm hoping we can get down to the threes for qualifying. Track came in pretty clean. We started getting quicker times the further it got along in practice, so hopefully we can get down to the threes. That'd be great. Fastest I ran in a practice right before this was like a 2:61. That was just like a one lap time. Getting like a really good run off of 4.
Green flag.
We'll see if we can try to replicate that. The start of 1 and 2 starting to get a little worn out. I let off a little bit going into the corners to try to keep the car straight, not get too sideways, and then get on the gas for like the rest of it. 3 and 4 is kind of hard to see the cushion down there, like the very bottom berm. It's hard to see that with the sun shining off of it. You kind of just have to practice and know where that's at. What did we run? 4:58. I'm okay with that so far, because that's just about mirroring what I did in practice. I'd like to get down to the threes though. I feel like a time in the threes is going to be pole. See if this lap could be any better. So far we're pole by a couple tenths, or a tenth and a half, which is surprising. Get any quicker there? No, 4:79. So pretty consistent laps. I'm really happy about that. We'll see if how many more people need to qualify and if we can keep the pole. Still 3 more people left to qualify. Who is the fastest in practice? He got second right there. Okay, 5:11. So still waiting on a few people to qualify, so I'll pick it up when we're about to go green in the heat races. Alright, well, we kept the pole, so that's amazing, because it is hard to pass in these things. I don't know why number 2 didn't qualify. I know he's here, because he's connected down there. He hasn't disconnected, so he's going to struggle getting to the front by the time the end of the feature is there. Because it is very hard to pass in these cars at this track, because you're mostly full throttle all the way around, and then you just have to hit the right line and not get too sideways. It's not that hard to keep the car straight here, for the most part. As long as you don't hit the curb at the bottom, or like the really bad slickness through the corner, you'll be fine. But I'm very happy we qualified in first, because that's going to give us a pretty good advantage, I feel like, for this heat and in the feature. As long as we can keep it in this heat race. Waiting on a couple more people to get in the race. I think there's 6 in our first heat, so we're waiting on number 6, which is who? Matt. Number 2, who didn't qualify. I don't know why he didn't qualify at time. It's confusing to me, but it is what it is. I'm just happy we qualified well. I thought for sure a time in the threes was going to be pole though, with how practice went. So I'm happy we were able to just run our time that we did in practice basically and hold the pole with that. Because the track did slick off slightly, but I was able to keep my speed through it, I guess. Keep my car straight. But Knoxville was a good race to end the season on. It's week 12, next week's week 13. I don't know exactly what classes are going to be running next week. So we're just going to have to play it by ear and see what's out there. I'm hoping that there's some big block races, because I want to get the big blocks and run them to feel them out. Hopefully they have fixed races instead of open. That'd be great. I hope they have fixed races normally when the next season starts in a couple weeks. Because I think those would be a lot of fun. Because they're going to be like the late model in a way, probably. Or like the UMPs are. Because the UMPs are a lot of fun to me, but they're just open setups.
Alright, man. Line up on the inside row.
And I'm not good at making a setup. So hopefully we can get a pretty good start here. Probably going to restart in 3rd gear, so I don't have to shift twice. And I can get enough of a launch on guys to where I don't think it'll matter if they're in 2nd or 3rd. Yeah, it seems like I got plenty of horsepower in 3rd gear. I'm going to back up from the pace truck a little bit. Not be like right up on it.
Alright, man. We're going green next time. Bye.
Heat race, only 8 laps, no caution laps. Feature has, I think, 25 or 30, one or the other.
Hey, car.
And there are cautions in the feature race. Should be interesting.
Get ready.
I still think there's only 5 of us here. I don't see the 6th place car back there. Guess he just wants to start in the back for the feature race. I don't know. Very odd, because these cars are very hard to pass in, like I said.
Alright, man.
Able to get a good start there. That's why like being out front is so important in these cars. But it is just, it's going to be hard to pass on them too. As long as we don't get too sideways, we should be able to lead all these laps and get the pole for the feature race, which would be awesome. It's a good way to end off this season going into the new season, especially because they count the next season as the start of season, or like the 2021 season, so those stats will go on the 2021 starting in 2 weeks, which is really interesting how they always do that. It starts like the middle of December, because it goes into 2021, which makes sense. But I've had a pretty good year compared to my other years on dirt and stuff. I've done pretty well. Very happy with how this year has gone in racing wise, at least for me. Lost some iRating here recently, but that's okay. Still had a ton of fun in most of our races. Learned a lot, and hopefully we'll get better going into the next year. Especially with the new classes coming out, like the big blocks and Cedar Lake coming out. I don't know if there's any actual normal oval tracks or cars coming out. I haven't seen anything about those. I've seen mainly dirt oval with the big blocks in Cedar Lake, and then I've seen some stuff on the actual road side, like the regular road. But I don't really mess with road at all. Have enough of a lead. I just want to keep working this bottom so it's more worn out in the feature race. It's definitely slick off the exit of 2. I just want to work that in more for the feature race at least, and then Heat 2 still has to go. It's the bottom in 3 and 4 is still good, but the bottom in 2 is bad. Through 1 is good, and then coming right here off of 2, if you don't get lower like that, it's going to be bad. You lose a lot of time getting sideways. I was actually able to get under the slick, which was really nice there. Went too low there. Hopefully the sun goes down and I could see the entrance of that corner better in the feature race, because the sunset on turn 3 is awful. Like the dirt is just so shiny, it's hard to tell exactly where it's at. Only got a couple more laps. We still have a great lead, so I'm very happy about that. I just wish the dirt would be a little darker right there with the sunset. Like, it's just shiny. Yeah, we were able to work in 1 and 2 pretty well, because everybody's running there for the most part behind us. But yeah, I was in a practice before this, and it took me forever to get around somebody. It took me about like 10-15 laps to actually get around a guy that I was probably a tenth or so faster than. It's just hard to pass in these cars. Alright, well, we won the heat race. That's half the battle. Got the pole and won the heat, so that's half the battle. So we started in first for the feature, which is amazing. Very happy about that. Now we have to watch the other 5 race it out in their heat. Number 4 was fastest in practice, so we'll see what he can do here. What was my fastest time in my heat? It probably won't translate over to him, really. 5:66. So let's see if he could run that kind of time or not in his heat. Because it is a little bit more worn out than it was when I ran my time. I'm just interested to see what kind of times they could run. Because I could look more at the end of the heat. A 6.8, 6.8, 7.8. So it was like a tenth or so off each other each lap, so we'll see what kind of times they could run. I think I could have been a little quicker running higher in 1 and 2 and still the low side in 3 and 4. Probably what I'll do in the feature, depending on how worn out 3 and 4 gets. Because there's still grip at the bottom of 3 and 4 for sure. Only 5 guys in this heat. Shouldn't be much beating and banging, I wouldn't think. See if the 4 car can pull away from the field like I did. Oh, I'm tired. I'm doing this race like, it was like 9 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, it's 9:17 now. It's early. Not really early, because I wake up at like 5:45 for work, so technically I was able to sleep longer, but I'm just not a morning person. I'm tired all the time. Yeah, he's pretty far off the pace truck up there. I think they're on 1 to go this time by. Let's see. I can see if the pace truck is going to jump off.
Stop pushing me up.
Yeah, he is kind of doing that.
Green, green, green.
He got a good start, though, on the guys. Let's see what he can do running the bottom in 1 and 2. That's one thing I don't like to do under caution is, like, push people around if you're the leader. I don't like doing that. Because then you're just going to get people mad at you anyways. And if they get close enough, they'll probably just hit you out of the way. Because you were hitting them out of the way under caution for no reason. You can't gain a spot under caution. He was just trying to gain an advantage for the start, which I understand that. It's just kind of a dick move, in my opinion. He's got a pretty good lead. Oh, he smacked the wall. So never mind about that. That's going to close up pretty quick. I still think the bottom in 3 and 4 right now will be quick. But nobody's really running it for some reason. I understand you probably get some momentum off the top. He's going back to the bottom in 1 and 2. Which that's not the corner I would expect to go low in. You definitely can get momentum off the high side. Coming off of 2 if you run it right. Because you can definitely stay real straight through 1 and 2. Up top. Even with the 6 and 7 battling, they're not really losing the 4 car, which is kind of crazy. And the track's not worn out enough to where you could throw too deep of a slider because you're not that far up the track on the high side, but the 7's making that bottom work. He was able to grip that bottom. He ran right in the slick that time. I would be surprised if he gets an advantage off the corner. He actually did. Wow. The 6 is too sideways up top for sure. Now the 4 is starting to pull away slightly. The 7 like goes in the slick to start. Oh, he got sideways off that corner. That's why I was saying you can gain momentum off the top and off of 2. Because he got so sideways right there. But it'll be interesting to see how this feature plays out. To see if where people are going to run. Because I imagine they're going to run the top in 3 and 4 like they are now. Because I'd rather run the high side in 1 and 2 and then the bottom in 3 and 4. That just seems the quickest to me. Because 1 and 2 wear out a lot more than 3 and 4 fully. There's still a lot. You can get all the way down to the bottom, like under the 7 there, pretty easily. And run the bottom in 3 and 4. And there's just a lot of grip off of 4 because it's not worn out. Through 1 and 2, it's worn out through the whole corner. But he actually was able to hook the very bottom there pretty well. Gonna get sideways off the corner though. 4 is just pulling away a little bit now. What kind of times are they running right now? In the 24s? 23.8s? I was interested to see what kind of times he was running. 890... 8:14, 9, 7:17. So we were definitely still a little quicker in my heat for the most part. This is definitely the battle to watch though for second. What lap are they on? I didn't check. They're on the last lap now, so I think this is the last corner as well. It's just so hard to pass. I feel like the 7 was faster.
God damn, I suck at this track.
It's just so tough to pass here. But basically, the line's going to be about the same as it was in qualifying.
Get into it.
We're basically in the same spots as we were for qualifying for most part. So we'll see how this goes. I'm just happy we're able to start out front. It's going to be tough to pass if you run it right. And hopefully I can run it right. Because I definitely think there's some grip on the bottom in 3 and 4. And people could just throw a dirty slider on you too and just push you out of the way if they really want to. I don't like doing that, but there's definitely some people out there that will do that to you. I would not be surprised if that happens just because these things are so hard to pass in.
I didn't mean to if I did.
That was good racing between the 6 and the 7.
You're good, buddy. We're fine.
That was a good race between them two for the whole heat. I think the 7 was slightly faster. Okay then. There he is. He's actually here for this one. He's starting in the very back though. That'll be interesting to see if he can work his way up.
All about? It's sloth, man.
Alright, man. Line up on the inside row. Pit road is closed.
Hopefully we can get the same kind of start we did in the heat race. I'll be happy with that if we can. Because the initial restart means a lot. And I think all these cautions in the street stocks are single file restarts, which is pretty big too. I feel like I'm worse at single file restarts than double file restarts if I'm the leader though. So this guy's gonna crowd me down now instead of pushing the guy up because he's on the outside.
Good luck, everybody.
So that's this guy's strategy, is to either push the guy down or up depending on what lane he's in. Cool. I'm just trying to run right behind the pace truck. I'm not trying to do anything stupid. I'm not trying to push this guy up. He's trying to keep me down. We'll see how this goes, because there's grip off of 4, so I'm not worried about it. Had a pretty decent start there.
Green flag, green flag.
Was able to get out here, which I'm good with, because you can definitely get momentum off the high side.
Clear low, clear low. Yeah, one inside. All clear, all clear.
I thought he was going to throw a slider there. He surprisingly didn't. But as long as I can run this outside good, I should be able to keep my momentum. The line's definitely a lot higher than I expected, though.
All clear, all clear. Yeah, one inside. All clear, all clear.
I feel like the bottom 3 and 4 is good, but 1 and 2 is not. So we'll see if he jumps up in front of me and runs the high side in 1 and 2. He does not. I do think it's better up here, but I'm going to run the bottom 3 and 4 if I don't get to his outside here. He's very sideways there. Once I hit the gas, I got sideways. Not trying to do that. Yeah, the line's definitely higher than I feel like it should be in 1 and 2. So I don't want to go all the way up there. I just want to be out of the slickness through 1 and 2. Just try not to hit that curb and stay straight underneath the grip, and that's the quickest way, I feel like. Kind of disappointed I lost the lead so early, but he ran 1 and 2 good enough to stay under me for 3 and 4, so kudos to him on that. He's able to hook the bottom in 1 and 2, which I don't think I could if I tried. He's just hooking the bottom so well right now, it's ridiculous.
20 more laps.
There's some grip down here for sure. There's not a lot, but there's definitely some. You just have to run it completely right, which I did not right there at all. Still hard to see the entrance of turn 3, which is tough. You got a pretty good 3 and 4 there, though. I just want to try to keep my car straight on the high side so I don't get passed by more guys behind me in 1 and 2. I'm like just barely hitting the throttle through the corner until I get like halfway through where there's more grip. And we kind of pulled away from the guys behind us, which was great there. So there was more grip down at the bottom, I guess, than I anticipated. Or that I could run. The 4 is running it very well, so can't really blame them for that. I can only blame myself for not running it, I guess, in the first corners. Because I thought the high side would pull off for sure. Coming off a 2. You can get your car straight enough. Going through that slick's not bad. But if you're still sideways, going through the slick coming off the corner, you're going to be sideways coming off the corner, which is not what you want. You'll lose a ton of time going down the straightaways. I feel like the outside in 3 and 4 is starting to come in some.
Got one outside. You're clear high, clear high.
Start working out here. There's definitely a lot of grip, and if I can cut down the middle of the corner like that, I feel like it's gonna be good. Because it looks like there's a line kind of going through the slickness, cutting down the track. Okay, I need to keep my car higher up in the corners because the guy behind me is getting a really good run off the corner. I'm getting too sideways in the middle. There are 3 wide behind me. Holy shit. Okay, then. That's 7 cars going like straight through the slick every corner. I don't know how he's not losing a ton of time, but he's running really well. And I do not understand it. Nearly halfway through the race right now. We're catching the 4, which is good news. The fact is, we're gonna have to try to get by him as the hard part. Hopefully I can use lessons from the practice I was in trying to get by a guy. It is hard to pass. Whoever is running that bottom is running it very well down there. Everyone's so grouped up. I'm surprised there hasn't been any cautions yet. Nobody's really like wrecked each other, surprisingly. Or went to the bottom there. Let's see how it works out for him. Kind of shocked by him doing that. His line's just getting further and further up the track now. That guy on the bottom is flying right now. Holy shit. Could not tell you how, but he's doing it. Yeah, he's completely like side by side with me now. What the hell? Oh, that is the 2 car. No wonder why he didn't qualify. He wanted to start in the back. He is hooking that bottom like a motherfucker. How the hell is he doing that? 4 goes down there, blocks the 2. The 2 is real fast. Holy crap. 4 gets up into the berm. I had to let off to not run into him. He's about to get wrecked. 4 car gets pushed up by the 2 because he completely blocked him. 4 car really tried to block him while he was inside of him. That didn't really work out for him. Yeah, we were. Definitely quicker than the 4 now. Getting that momentum on the very outside. That was a ton of speed. Holy crap. This is a fucking race. What a freaking last street stock race for the season. That was a good move by the 2. He was cleared, so I don't blame him. He was hooking that bottom, man. How the hell did he do that, though? He got by everyone on the bottom. I did not think he was going to be able to get up here for sure. I've seen his name a lot. I've definitely raced him a good amount, but he is fucking fast. You are not clear, 4 car. You are not clear there. He threw a slider all the way up into us. Because he's trying to just run through the slick and it's not working.
Don't let up.
Got one outside.
Cleared him back. You can definitely throw a slider. You lose a ton of time, though. Damn, that 2 car is just gapping us now. I cannot believe on how quick he was on the bottom. My car felt like it was bogging down there at the top. That was weird. Maybe I was in too much of a cushion? I don't know. That was really weird, though. I don't know how many laps we have left. I don't really want to check. Okay, we have like 2 laps left after this. We're on like 3 to go right now. That 7 car is fighting on that inside. He was pretty good in the heat, and it's just so hard to pass. And he's working that bottom here in the feature again, which is kind of letting us gap the guys behind us too, which is kind of good. Him and the 2 are making that bottom work. I don't understand how. Yeah, I'm hitting a cushion up there, and it's like straightening me out. Good on the 7 though. Yeah, this 2 car's got it. He was flying. He made that bottom work. I guess if you guys could just practice the bottom while it's completely worn out, do it. Get like the 2 car. I'm happy with how I ran. This was a fucking hell of a race. Good win too. That was crazy. Good job hooking that bottom the whole time. He knows he's fast too. He knows he is. Yeah, it makes for some good racing like that. Good job.
There you go, man. Good job, driver.
7 car ended up getting.
I appreciate that. That was close.
Yeah, we went fucking green the green, or green the checkered, I should say. No cautions, which is crazy.
It's actually a fun race when you race clean, buddy. Thank you.
I guess he's normally a dirty driver.
I thought you had me a few times there.
I guess James is normally a dirty driver, which I could see from the heat race when you push the guy up.
The kid race.
Holy crap, though. That was green the green.
I thought I was going in the infield when I got underneath him.
Yeah, he definitely tried to block him. We were 3 wide, yeah.
Turn left.
Yeah, I thought he was getting turned and coming all the way back up the track into me.
It was ridiculous. I mean, the 4 car.
Yeah, that was uncalled for. I thought for sure he was just gonna get turned. It was right here, I believe.
I was telling you to stay on the gas, Austin, because I knew what he was gonna do in turn 1. He's just gonna throw the son of a bitch up in there and try to pit.
Oh yeah, he definitely tried a slider earlier and it didn't work, straight into the side of me, and then I was just able to drive back by him when he actually threw one. We were freaking like 3 wide here, which is crazy.
Driving's one thing, but when I get under you and you just turn left, I wasn't having any of that.
Yeah, no, not at all. Right here, I was able to just stay on the outside of him far enough because he didn't throw a deep enough slider. That was crazy. I can't believe the 2 hooked the bottom that well. He started last.
Good race,
Yeah, good race. I don't understand how you hooked the bottom like that. That was awesome.
I'm no more than freaking half throttle. When it's slick like that, you're no more than half throttle.
Good to know.
Until the car is almost straight coming off. And you got to hold it the whole way.
Gotcha. That's nice. That was crazy. I want to see where the 4 actually threw the slider on me. Didn't make it, and then threw it like the next lap. Or the next corner or something.
I wish I could have ran in turn 1, I was hitting their good line. The up top of the
right here.
Bottom.
He did not clear me whatsoever.
Bottom, I thought.
And then I think this corner, he actually threw a slider and made it because he was close enough. Actually, no, he didn't go hard enough into that, so I was able to drive back by him on the outside. The 4 car just likes to throw shit that he's not going to make. But right here, I saw he went low enough and was going to make it, so you just turned down earlier, 3 wide coming off a 2 with the 7, and just drove right back by him. That was fucking crazy of a race. But we were car number 1, started first. Fucking the 2 was the fastest by far. He finished second, 1.2 ahead of us basically, and just drove away from the field. if you guys could practice the bottom like he did, like he said, run half throttle through the slick until the car's straight coming off, then full throttle, like practice that and you will be very fast, because he started dead last and these cars are hard to pass in. As you can see, like most of the people finished around where they started unless you fell back, but it was good. The 7 actually passed some people. He was running the bottom most of the time too. He was pretty good down there, but definitely gonna gain some iRating. Didn't get any X's, surprisingly. Yeah, we got a 0X still from us, from him slapping the side of us, but that was a great race. I'm very happy with how that went, so let's go see how much iRating we end up getting out of that. It's not gonna be too much probably, but that was an amazing race. I'm super happy with how that went. All right, results are in. Started first, finished second, car number 1, gained 23. All right, so we're almost back up to 3,900. I raced Matt a bunch. He's just over 3,700 probably again. Strength of field wasn't too high, but these cars are just so equally matched everywhere. Like, you could just full throttle it. And I didn't even lead a lap, surprisingly. The 4 led 16, and the 2 led 9 of them. So by the time I got by the 9, I wasn't in the lead, the 2 was, so that's kind of funny. But he was by far the fastest. He ran a 681. The next fastest time was a 764. So that shows you on how fast he was going. That was lap 3. So yeah, he was fucking flying. But I'm super happy with how that race went. Surprisingly, there was no cautions with how close everybody was the entire time. But you really have to like get into somebody and completely spin them out to wreck them. In these, you can kind of beat and bang a little bit because you have fenders on it and you don't go flying all around when you hit each other. But super happy with how that race went. That was a very fun race. Wish we could have won it, but the 2 just hooked the bottom and there was no competing with him because I cannot do the same. I didn't practice that enough, but I'll definitely be racing him more in the future because of our iRatings. We're so close in it, so that was a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the race. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see some more racing. This was by far the best race of the season, in my opinion. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.